Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to talk about relationship between the universal exit time, the last condition check before exchange close time, and the reactivate on exit after time. So these three things. So there is a common mistake that the clients do that we will be discussing in this particular video, and we will provide a solution for the same. So normally what happens is that if a client wants to exit his strategy at say 3:10 p.m. in the afternoon, so that is we set the time over here as 15:10 p.m. Now along with this, it is important to also check the last condition check before exchange close time. So very often by default what happens is that this time is supposed set to 30 minutes. Then what will happen is, if your universal exit time is at 15:10 p.m. as we have set over here in this example, it's at 15:10, but since the last condition check before exchange close, this time is set to 30 minutes. What it means is that before exchange close, that is at 3:30 p.m., before that since this time is set to 30 minutes, at 3 o'clock, that is 3 p.m., since it is 30 minutes before exchange close, it will stop checking the conditions of the strategy. So as you can see, because of that, the risk is the universal exit time that you have set for 3:10, since the strategy will not check any conditions after 3 p.m., the strategy will not universally exit at 3:10 p.m. So over here, it's important to adjust the time. Either in this universal exit, you can change this to say 14:59 p.m. or 14:58 p.m., which is before the 30 minutes time, or you can either keep this time as 15:10, but then you will have to change the time in this section, that is the last condition check before exchange close. So if I change this to, so now since I want the exit to be at 15:10 p.m., what I will do is I will make sure that this last condition check before exchange close time is after that. So since after 15:10, I can set this to say 15 minutes. So what will happen is that the strategy will now exit at 15:10 at 3:10 p.m. and at 3:15 p.m. the strategy will stop checking the conditions. So what this will do is that it will also universally exit the strategy and automatically will stop checking the conditions after 3:15 p.m. So this is the way we can adjust this both times. And along with that, as I mentioned, it's important to check the reactivate on exit after time also. So over here, so say for example, if the universal exit happens at 15:10, that is 3:10 p.m., and if your reactivate on exit after time is set to 2 minutes, as we can see, what will happen is that after 15:10, after 2 minutes, automatically at 15:12, this strategy will again start checking the conditions. It will become active, and if your entry condition is met, then it will again enter the strategy. And then what will happen is, after again at around after 3:15, the strategy will either stop checking the condition, or it can also universally exit and go into loop, because your universal exit is at 15:10 p.m. So in order to avoid that kind of a looping or error issue that can happen, what you have to make sure is that this reactivate on exit after time is set to say more than that, more than the gap between the universal exit time and the last condition check time. So over here, if we change this to say 10 minutes, then what will happen is that the universal exit will happen at 15:10. After that, the last condition check will stop the condition checking at 3:15 p.m. and 10 minutes after universal exit, that means at 15:20, this strategy will get activated. But since the strategy condition check has stopped at 3:15 p.m., it will not re-enter into the strategy. So either you can keep it as 10 minutes, or if you can, if it's an intraday strategy and if you want to take entry on the very next day, then you can set it to say 12 hours, which is the most risk-free way of setting this particular time. But if you basically if you want to re-enter again and again during the day, then make sure that this time is set according to this particular setup, that universal exit time, this last condition check before exchange close time, and reactivate on exit after time should not clash. So for example, if you want to reactivate the strategy after 2 minutes, every 2 minutes. So if you want to again and again enter into the strategy during the day, then what you can do is, say for example, you can set this time to say 14:59. So what will happen is that, and you can set this time to 14:59, and in the last condition check you can set this time to 30 minutes. So over here what will happen is that, as you can see, at the strategy will universally exit at 14:59, that is 2:59 p.m. After that it will stop checking the conditions at 3 p.m. that is 1 minute after the universal exit time. And since your reactivate on exit after is at after 2 minutes, that means even after this strategy is exited at 14:59 p.m. it will automatically reactivate at 3:1 p.m. But since it is 3:1 p.m. and we have stopped the strategy condition check at 3 p.m. since this is 30 minutes over here, then automatically the strategy will not re-enter. So which is a perfect setup, so that you know the at the time of universal exit you will not face this issue where your strategy does not universally exit, or your strategy gets stuck in either exit pending or gives you any kind of error. So that's how we basically deal with this particular time. I hope this is clear. If not, you can get in touch with us on our support, and we will be able to help you out. Thank you.